Hi, this is Anita from Real Estate Crunch. Today we're going to talk about what do you need to do if you're going to buy your first home? What are some things that you can do to start and begin to prepare for this? The first thing you need to do is check out your credit score. This is very important that you need to check out what is your credit score. Usually you should have a credit score 620 or higher for your overall credit score. So first thing you do is check out your credit score. If your credit score for some reason is low, make sure you work on it and get yourself a higher credit score. You can get your free score. We have a blog we've written on this, and we have a link there of where you can get a free credit score. Next, you need to figure out your budget. You need to figure out how much can you afford. And we on our blog, realestatecrunch.com, we have a small calculator that you can use where you can basically put in what your income is, what your expenses are, how much your debt is, and it will just give you a rough estimate of how much you can, what are some payments that you can actually be able to afford, because that is actually what is important for you to know exactly what you can afford. The next step you can do is get pre-approved for a mortgage. If you know that it's something that you want to do, that you want to buy a home, then take the steps to get pre-approved for a mortgage. If you can't get pre-approved for one, find out what you need to do. Explore first-time homeowner, buyer programs. What can you do as a first-time homeowner? Start saving for your down payment and your closing costs. This is important because you're going to have to put down some down payment and closing costs. So start saving for that now. Then start looking around. Start asking people. Find a real estate agent, someone that you feel that you can trust, someone that you feel will be able to help you. Even if you're not quite ready now, you can start talking to them a bit now. You can start doing some market research and other things to find out exactly where you want to live, where's the area you want to live. You can start doing all that now and checking that out. Start house hunting. Start looking around. Even if you just get on websites and look at some of the websites and see, what is going for what price and what area, or you start driving around areas and start, doing some of your own research. And especially once you're pre-approved and you have an agent, then you can start looking, make a list of, must-haves, versus nice to have. What is something that you really must have and what is something that would be nice to have? Tour homes in person online. Don't rush. You want to get it right. I think here's one of the big ones. Don't rush. I personally myself would never buy a home unless I had walked through it and seen it personally. Having dealt a lot with real estate, sometimes space can seem very different in person than it can online. So if you really, when you're buying a property, I would really make sure that you walk through it, you have a feel for it, because you'll just feel and see things differently in person than you ever would online. Make an offer. If you feel like this is something that you want to buy, then make an offer. But after you made the offer, make sure you get a home inspection. That is, if your offer has been accepted, get a home inspection. Pay for that home inspection. Make sure that you know exactly what you're getting. Then you can finalize your mortgage at that point. And before you actually sign off, do your last final walkthrough to make sure that everything's been done that you might have agreed upon, or that you don't suddenly see something that wasn't there before and then close on your new home. So if you'd like to be able to know more about this, and also we have 15 frequently asked questions about buying your first home, that questions that can help you be able to answer or help you navigate what can be a very complex and many times an overwhelming process when you're looking to do this, then you can check out our questions. One of the things that I highly recommend for everybody is, it goes back to take your time when you're looking. A lot of mistakes that the first time people make is they see one home or two homes and this is it, this is what I want, this is just my dream home, and they don't look anywhere else. I would, say from the very beginning, before you start the process, say, we are going to tour 20 homes or whatever, and make sure that you do that. Even if the first home or the second home you think might be the one you want, go through and look at the others, because you don't really know what you're going to see, throughout them. If it's not 20, maybe it's 10, maybe whatever you're comfortable with. But make sure that you've seen enough so that you can really make the right decision for you, because a home is a long-term investment. If you make the wrong decision, you can be stuck with something which can be a problem for you and can cost you a lot of money over the long term. This is Anita from Real Estate Crunch. Thank you so much for listening. We will put a link to our blog, How Do I Buy a First Home, a step-by-step guide for the first-time buyers, in our description below, in case you'd like to be able to read and be able to understand more. Thank you so much for being part of our community. If you're not yet part of our community, press that subscribe button and subscribe and join with us as we work together, learn together, and as we discover together all things to do with real estate. Thank you so much.